One of the biggest rivalries in the state of Minnesota will add another chapter in this Friday night edition of high school girls basketball. Tonight, the defending Class 4A state champion Chaska Hawks, on a roll at 8-1, pay another visit to the Chanhassen Storm. Chanhassen, they've dropped 3 in a row, but this could be one of their best opportunities to right this rivalry in their favor. Hello again, everyone. I'm Mike Peden, joined by Alex Nagel, and the winner of tonight's game will not get to hoist this trophy, at least not yet. All the athletes you're going to see, they'll need a few more years before they have an opportunity to hoist this Division I Women's Basketball Championship. As you know, Alex, the Women's Final Four will be held in Minneapolis come springtime. And we've got some athletes tonight that might get an opportunity to hoist that trophy someday. Mallory Heyer and Callin Hake are among them.
Well, I tell you what, Mike, this Chaska team is loaded in more ways than one. And it's no surprise that they won the state title last year, and they've got a lot of those bodies back for this season.
They certainly do, and let's talk about the 2 Division I commits on the roster. You have Kennedy Sanders. She has scored 14 points or more in every game this season. She dropped 32 in a win over Edina. And Mallory Heyer on a run of consistency. 5 20-point games in her last 6 outings. The 1-2 punch for Chaska helped them get a big win over Eden Prairie. They're in a brutal section, Alex, as you know, with Section 2 in Minnetonka and EP in that group, but this Chaska team, I'd say they carried over a lot of experience from last year's state tournament run.
Well, this Chaska team comes into this contest tonight, Mike, feeling very good about themselves, and they should. They've won 7 straight after dropping that game to Hopkins. They're on a roll. They're playing very well, and Heyer is really one of the main reasons why they're doing so well as they are right now.
Heyer going to Minnesota, and Sanders going to Colorado in a couple of years. For Chanhassen, they've dropped 3 in a row, but they have one of the most dynamic scorers in the senior class in Callin Hake. She broke the career scoring record at Chanhassen as a sophomore, closing in on 2,000 points, racking up a lot of 20-point efforts. The talent surrounding her, that's going to be key as far as Chanhassen's chances of victory. But Alex, what Callin Hake has done to put a stamp on this program is simply incredible, and a win against the crosstown rival would certainly be a welcome highlight to her resume.
Yeah, I tell you what, she's really special, Mike, and she's going to need a big game from her. And you talk about opportunity, I can't think of a better opportunity than to host your arch rival on your home floor, especially if you want to snap a 3-game losing streak.
Callin Hake going to Nebraska next year, so a future Big Ten rivalry of sorts playing out tonight. We're looking forward to this rivalry edition of high school girls basketball. We'll be back for the starting lineups.
Twin Cities Sports Broadcasting, and a whole lot more. That's what you get from TSB Television. We provide long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros. Dazzling moves.
Holloman, good if it goes. Yes!
Game winners.
From James. She's in trouble. Finds James. Toss shot! It goes in!
And everything in between.
Before we let you go, do you want to say hi to anybody?
Oh, I don't know. That put me on the spot there.
If you want to connect with our audience, visit us at patreon.com/TSB Television or sponsor our coverage through PayPal and Cash App. Thank you for watching.
Welcome back to Chanhassen High School as we get ready for one of the biggest rivalries in the state. Metro West Conference rivals, section rivals. Alex, this is the first of 2 meetings between these two. Chaska has dominated this series in recent years. But when you look at the makeup of this Chanhassen team, this could be the best chance for the Storm to finally win one of these.
No doubt, it's a matter of, preparation and how bad you want it. Now, obviously, there's a lot of things I got to do right tonight. You talked about, depth is an issue for this Chanhassen team. You're going to have to get a lot of production from your starting 5.
And don't worry, the lights are not malfunctioning. This is part of the fanfare at Chanhassen, or at least we hope. This is my first visit here, so I can't make assumptions.
I think this is pretty cool.
That would be something if the lights didn't turn on. Actually, I know a lot of schools will use this setup for wrestling meets.
Yeah.
So Chanhassen, they've lost 3 in a row. Those 3 losses coming to Rogers, St. Michael Albertville, and Benilde St. Margaret's in overtime. Double overtime, that is. Not a lot of history with Chanhassen, but that's not because their program lacks talent. The school wasn't in existence until 2009.
You know, we talk about a lot Callin Hake and what she can do and how she really burst onto the scene as a sophomore for this Chanhassen program. I really expecting a big game from fellow backcourt and senior Maddie Hicks tonight. I think Chanhassen's going to need to have a big game from her as well.
Hicks and Arnold, the 2 X factors to watch for on the part of Chanhassen. To recap the starting 5, Chaska will start Kennedy Sanders, the Colorado commit, number 2. Anna Lenzen, number 12. Ashley Schulke, number 20. Mallory Heyer, the future Gopher, number 24. And Kendall Carmen, number 33. Chanhassen will start Lauren Arnold, number 1. Maddie Hicks, number 4. Elena Giles, number 12. Callin Hake, the future Cornhusker, number 14. And Macy Sweetser normally wears 40, lost her jersey at the holiday invite last week, so she'll have to wear 33 for tonight. Chanhassen wearing the navy, Chaska wearing the white. Rivalry night in the Metro West. The boys are playing at Chaska, the girls are playing here. We've got a solid crowd on hand. It may not look that way from our vantage point. That's because the spectators are behind us, or I should say in front of us. Well, either way, they're in front of us, but they're behind the benches here. Chaska with the first possession. This is Lenzen. Deep 3 for Sanders off the back iron, and the rebound to Sweetser. Hake to Sweetser. Anytime Hake touches that ball, keep an eye out. Keep an eye on her because she can do a lot of things. She likes to shoot threes. Can't knock that one down. And a dead ball rebound to the Hawks.
Both teams showing man-to-man on defense here at the outset. Let's see if that holds.
Several of the Lake schools this week had to reschedule games due to COVID exposure. These two fortunately haven't, and we certainly hope there's minimal disruption, but we'll do our best to roll with the punches, as they say. Chaska beat Robbinsdale Cooper convincingly on Tuesday. Chanhassen, as we noted, lost in double overtime to Benilde St. Margaret's. Olivia Olson with another 30-point game. Pump fake. And unable to hit the runner was Elena Giles. Almost walked. Here's Kennedy Sanders. Elusive. And I'll finish that in a moment. And she gets the ball again. Alex, you may have seen her in the high school and AAU circuit.
Yeah.
She is shifty, elusive. She can squeeze through tight spaces. One of the most dynamic point guards in the state. Offensive rebound, Mallory Heyer. 3 on the way. And that will be a foul on Chanhassen.
It's going to be very important here tonight, Mike, for Chanhassen to limit those second and third opportunities on the defensive end. You don't want to give Chaska a lot of opportunities like they just got there.
Kendall Carmen gets Chaska on the board. Meanwhile, on the Chanhassen side, Macy Sweetser draws the foul, and she will shoot 2. Sweetser does not have any basketball plans for college. Her favorite food is sushi, and If she had no limit on her credit card, the store she would use it on is Lululemon.
Ooh.
Sweets are averaging 6 points per game. Unable to hit at the free throw line. And even though Sweetser may not play collegiate basketball, I talked to her mother actually beforehand, and she's fine with that. Macy wants to go to a Big Ten school and has several acceptance letters. So her choices are plentiful. Chaska with the 2-0 lead. Here is Kennedy Sanders weaving through traffic.
She's got a quick burst, doesn't she, Mike?
We've seen her do that many times before in a Chaska uniform and in a Minnesota Fury uniform.
And just a junior, too.
Originally, she came off the bench, but after Destiny Burst transferred to Eden Prairie a couple years ago, as Hake misses the three, that moved Kennedy Sanders into the starting point guard spot, and it's been all uphill from there. Chaska leads 4-0. Hicks used up the dribble. Here's Sweetser. Ran into a wall. A lengthy wall at that with Carmen and Heyer. They both call for it. Instead, Sanders with the shovel pass. Lenzen fires the three. That's short.
Ball came off a Heyer. Couldn't quite control that rebound attempt.
14-18 left in the first half. Chaska leads 4-0. They've been on a roll since their loss to Hopkins. Chanhassen hoping to right the ship after dropping 3 in a row. Hake thought about it.
Chanhassen showing good patience so far.
Well, there's no shot clock yet, so they can be as patient as they like. In a couple years, that will change. Callin Hake looking to work off a screen. Couldn't do so Chanhassen will try once more. Arnold almost lost it. Kennedy Sanders, we should point out, broke the school record for most steals and assists in a season, if my memory is correct. So not only do you have to watch out for Sanders offensively, she is a mosquito on defense.
Oh, absolutely.
Mosquito, of course, is the term my friend Latoya likes to use, but Kennedy Sanders is certainly that on defense. A pest. Callin Hake, deep three. Hasn't found her stroke yet. Dead ball rebound to Chanhassen. Giles couldn't hang on to it.
Been awfully tough for Chanhassen to penetrate that lane, get some easy inside shots.
Chaska forcing the turnover.
Ashley Schulke doing the good work there.
Here is Sanders.
Oh, beautiful bounce pass.
And that will mean free throws for Mallory Heyer.
You know, that's just great court awareness by Sanders, getting that bounce pass placed perfectly.
Mallory Heyer, one of the Gopher Four. If you know her story, she competed in gymnastics until 5th grade, and when she grew too tall.
Yeah.
And also had a successful volleyball career at Chaska. Had a chance to cover her a few times in the fall. And she probably could have made a career out in volleyball if she'd wanted. But I don't think anyone will complain about her choice to play basketball. Splits at the line, and Chaska slowly building a 5-point lead. And, of course, a lot of attention going to the Gopher Four. Mallory Heyer, Nia Holloway, Mara Braun, and Amaya Battle, but one reason for that, how quickly the four have bonded. Mallory's mother told me that the Gopher 4, Mallory, Niamara, they all chat with each other after games. That is Anna Lenzen with the rebound and the putback of Sanders' miss. And Kayla Walsh will call a timeout. The Hawks have built a 7-0 lead with 12:32 to go in the first half.
Yeah, it's been a tough road to hoe here for Chanhassen early going.
And with this timeout, we'll remind you that if you'd like to support long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros, we have 3 ways for you to do so: Patreon, PayPal, and Cash App. Patreon.com/TSB Television. PayPal and Cash App. The handle is TSB Television. Now, Alex, I know you like to remark and observe how often, how many times I've taken you outside the comfort zone. Well, both of us are making our first visit to Chanhassen tonight. Hopefully not our last.
Very nice place to be.
Chanhassen making some changes on the floor. They have Avery Linder, number 50. And Alex, you know this, sometimes you just have to weather that initial storm.
Yep, exactly.
No pun intended. Chanhassen, they have yet to get on the board, but that can change in a hurry. This is Schulke to Lenzen. Lenzen, the runner is good. So Anna Lenzen with a couple of field goals. And it's now a 9-0 lead for Chaska. Chanhassen trying to break that goose egg. And they draw the foul.
First one on Sanders for the night.
Here's Arnold weaving through Sanders. That was a clever use and a clever recognition
Yes, it was.
of that dribble and that step you get.
Nice move by the sophomore.
Great use of the pivot. Mallory Heyer lines up the 3. In and out, rebound is tipped to Hake. Callin, she's got some speed. Fires the step back 3. Hake has yet to find the basket, Alex.
Yeah, sometimes it's a matter of letting the game come to you. When you try to force the issue, things can kind of go awry as they did there.
Mallory Heyer didn't need to force anything. She let that floater come to her. And that is her first field goal. One thing about Callin Hake, she's going to stay with it no matter how many times she comes up short. She does not flinch if she runs into a rut in terms of shooting. Arnold can't hit the turnaround. Mallory Heyer scoops it up, runs with it, goes to Schulke. Now back to Kendall Carmen, who has an opening.
Yeah, that was a little defensive lap there by the Storm.
Nice move on the part of Schulke as well to pick up Carmen being open. Chanhassen says, right back at you. Lauren Arnold with the baseline cut.
One scenario that we probably didn't envision was the sophomore Arnold carrying the load here for the Storm in this first half.
Lauren Arnold, she averages 10.1 a game. We mentioned one of the X factors, if Arnold or Hicks can pick up some momentum, stir that pot, if you will, that can help Chanhassen. At least until Hake awakens. And with Callin Hake, it's not a question of if, but when. Chanhassen gets their first three-pointer.
Well, I tell you what.
Maddie Hicks scores.
I said Maddie Hicks needed to have a big game. That's a good start for her right there.
Lauren Soibert with the dime, and it's 13-7. Mallory Heyer with the answer. Off the back iron, and the rebound is tipped to Maddie Hicks. Arnold fakes the three. Callin Hake, by the way, on the bench, getting a breather, and that might not be a bad thing right now with her struggling early.
A chance to refocus, maybe.
Exactly. Meanwhile, Avery Linder has a chance for a three-point play.
Well, now.
And Callin Hake cheering on her brethren from the bench, so this probably it. Go ahead, Alex.
I say how this one has changed here in the last couple of minutes.
Not necessarily how you'd script it, but Chanhassen can make this a one-possession game.
And here comes Callin Hake.
Avery Linder, the junior, averaging just 3.2 a game.
Gets a friendly roll, too.
Emphasis on friendly. But that makes it 13-10. It was, 11-0 just a moment ago?
Yeah, 13-2.
And Chanhassen has scored 8 points in a hurry. Mallory Heyer off balance. Chanhassen could tie this up if they wanted. Hake fakes it. Arnold thought about it. Looks to go inside. Oh, a nice dish to Linder.
Just great court recognition by Arnold there on that one.
Lauren Arnold. She's got some moves. And she's a sophomore. So a 10-0 run for the Storm makes it a 1-point game. Yep. Sanders, that's a walk. Yes. Left a little too early. Number 14 for the Hawks is Lily Niebuhr.
You know, Mike, it's so ironic. You talked about weathering that initial storm. Well, I'd say Chanhassen's done a pretty good job of that.
That was tipped by Chaska. It stays Chanhassen ball. Well, and you know this, Alex. Basketball, it's a long sport. You get a lot of runs.
Yep, it really is a game of runs.
If you go down early, that doesn't mean you're out of contention. Not in the slightest. And remember, this Chanhassen team, they got off to a hot start. They almost stole a win against Wayzata back in December.
Sometimes there's those nerves to work through.
Aubrey Heyer, Mallory's little sister, got the steal, and she'll have a chance at 2 from the line.
She's got some length, too, at 5'11".
Slightly smaller than her big sister, but yes, averaging 2.5 points. And that could make for a divided household at the Heyer family, and not because there's a family feud, but because Mallory's going to be a Gopher next year, and Aubrey will still be wearing the purple and white of Chaska. Heyer splits at the line, so it's 14-12. Callin Hake. Chanhassen tried to drive. It was too strong. Kennedy Sanders, she's got numbers. Plenty of options. She'll pick up the assist. Ashley Schulke gets on the board. 4-on-1, Alex.
Yeah, that.
I don't think even the best defender would have a chance against that.
No.
Not with Kennedy Sanders running the point. Hake staying with it.
Whoa.
I'll tell you what, Alex, Maddie Hicks, she'll have a chance at 3. Callin Hake, she has yet to get on the board, but what her teammates have done in the last few minutes to give her support is absolutely crucial.
Yeah, she's itching to get into the flow of the game from a scoring standpoint, but it has to be encouraging at the same time that her teammates are stepping up for her.
Maddie Hicks, her favorite food is pizza, and she is also a Lululemon shopper. And Alex, we've got ourselves a 1-point game once again. That's a foul on Elena Giles. Carmen back on the floor. Mallory Heyer is called for the offensive foul. And it looks like, Alex, you spotted that. .6:26 to go in the first half. It was 13-2 Chaska in the early going. Chanhassen scored 10 in a row. Chaska pressuring off the inbound. They get the ball. Heyer gets the open three and buries it. Mallory Heyer, she has extended her range over the last few years. When I first saw her as a freshman, she wasn't going after three-pointers like that. And Maddie Hicks,
I tell you what.
You were saying if she has a big game, Chanhassen would have a chance, and she is doing her best to make that happen.
I really like Maddie Hicks. I like her aggressiveness here in this first half. Again, when your top scorer isn't hitting, you got to have your other teammates step up. Maddie Hicks is doing that right now.
She has a pair of hype songs. Gangnam Style by Psy. That dates me. That was, 8 years ago? 9 years ago? The Other Side, Jason Derulo, 10 years ago. That's right, it's 2022. This is our first game of the 2022 calendar year. Maddie Hicks made both free throws to make it a 2-point game. Ball was poked and scooped up by Arnold. So Hicks is 8. And again, all of this is a big boon for the Storm. Oh, that was close. Sweetser thought mishandled the dribble. Here's Callin Hake. Bullseye.
Oh. She's feeling a lot better now.
And that is where the production of Hicks has been so helpful, because Callin Hake didn't score until that last basket.
And just gave Chanhassen their first lead.
Chaska looking to take it back. So Hake gets on the board, sees a lane, and adds 2 more. Since Chaska went up 13-2, Chanhassen has gone on a 26 run. Heyer from the right wing. Short, Carmen with the O board.
Now you know why this section, Class 4, Section 2 is known as Murderer's Row.
Well, that's one reason. 2 of the other teams not in action this week. Eden Prairie and Minnetonka both having to reschedule games as they try to work their way through Omicron. Step back 3 for Sanders off the back iron. And too many bodies on the part of Chanhassen. They still had 2 fouls to give. So you know about the top brass, EP, Minnetonka, Chaska. Chanhassen is in there. Prior Lake, they've got some young up-and-comers, although I think they would be a heavy underdog right now.
Yeah.
Edina won the first 7 in a row, but they've run into some hurdles with the top Lake Conference teams. Waconia, they won 18 games last year.
Look at this.
That was Arnold, who turned
Tara Seifert wants to talk about it.
Ella Kurzal scores for the Storm. Chanhassen leads 24-19. It is a 22-6 run for the Storm.
You know, you talk about Callin Hake. Her favorite food, Mike? Steak. Now, I could roll with that easily because I love steak.
Well, Ella Kurzal's favorite food, she was the last score for the Storm. Noodles with bread and salad. And what store would she max out her credit card? Amazon. I have a feeling a lot of us have been maxing out our cards and our limits on Amazon over the last couple of years. 24-19 is the score. And I need to make a clarification. Lululemon, not Lululemon. Unless there's some French pronunciation enthusiasts out there who enjoyed it. So 24-19, Alex. Chanhassen is doing this with just 3 points from or now 5 points, I should say, but last week when I saw this team, it was Callin Hake who was flourishing. Everyone else was struggling, and STMA ran them out of the building. We're not seeing that tonight. And over the last couple of years, it's been all Chaska with this rivalry series. Now, that was Kennedy Sanders, who drains another runner. And that was a badly needed bucket for Chaska, even though it's still the first half. Hake doubled with the bounce pass to Arnold, and Arnold throws it away. Kennedy Sanders has it.
Oh.
Count it.
Well, I'm not sure what head coach Tara Seifert said that huddle during that timeout, but whatever it was, it sure has this Chaska team fired up all of a
Well, keep
sudden.
in mind, Callin Hake was going to play it for the backcourt violation, but she let off the gas just a little bit. Kennedy Sanders sensed an opportunity, went in, grabbed the loose ball, and we'll have a chance for three. Missed the free throw, but Chaska makes it a one-point game just like that. High-low play. Heyer sealed off Lawrence Soibert in time. Here's Aubrey Heyer. Kennedy Sanders with a little stutter step. Long two, no good. Rebound Arnold. Stops, pops short. Sweetser with the rebound. Can't flip it in. But
now,
Lawrence Soibert can.
You know, it's interesting now you see that Chanhassen getting those second and third opportunities. You know that has to bother head coach Tara Seifert.
I'm sure it does, but remember, in this sport, there are no guarantees. Just because Chaska has dominated in the past doesn't mean they can count on a win. Automatically, that is. Free throws coming for Kendall Carmen, the 6'1 forward. Well, we've been talking a lot about food. Kendall Carmen's favorite is Caesar salad.
Ah, that's another good one, too.
She also plays softball at Chaska, is the vice president of the National Honor Society, and the secretary of the Student Council.
Yeah.
Splits at the line. And Alex, Chaska, they're going to have to do a little bit better from the free throw line.
Yeah,
they're only 3 of 7. I think they're going to have to do a little bit better if they want to assume control again, as Arnold was blocked on the drive. 2:08 left in the first half.
I like this sophomore Lauren Arnold. She's showing how aggressive she can be, taking the ball to the hole, trying to draw the foul. She stepped up when a lot of the others were having problems.
Niebuhr with the rejection. Schulke brings the ball up, looks for the finish, and she'll get it. And we're tied at 26. Crosstown rivalry, Chaska and Chanhassen.
Almost has a UCLA-USC feeling to it, doesn't it?
Oregon State. Stanford, California.
Yep.
UNC, NC State, all of the crosstown rivalries. That's a tough call for Lauren Arnold as she is hit with traveling. I'm trying to think of some of the other in-state ones. Oh, Washington State. How could I forget?
Washington and Wazoo, yeah.
The Apple Cup. How could I forget that? See, Minnesota doesn't have that yet, but with St. Thomas, a D1 school, that could change. Kennedy Sanders drops a 3 from the corner, and Chaska has the lead again. So Chanhassen was up by 5, and now Chaska making a run. This game of runs continues. .5 seconds on the clock. Niebuhr staying with her coverage. Sends Avery Linder packing on that play. Niebuhr probably not going to shoot a 3. Sanders goes in, draws a foul.
Boy, I tell you, hasn't Kennedy Sanders put on a show here in the last 2 minutes?
She's been putting on a show all season. Verbal to Colorado. Kennedy Sanders, get this, Alex. She plays lacrosse, and when she was in 5th grade, she played a season of tackle football.
Goodness.
Well, her brother is the quarterback of the football team.
Maybe I should talk to UCLA head coach Chip Kelly and see if he needs...
Well, she's got her mind made up at Colorado, where she'll join a fellow Fury associate in Lizzie Holder in a couple of years. What was a 5-point Chanhassen lead is now a 5-point Chaska lead with 13 seconds left. Hake for 3. Short, gets a rebound, fires, and we'll have a chance to shoot free throws.
Well, I tell you what, if Chanhassen can go into the locker room within a single possession, given the ups and downs of this first half, they got to be feeling pretty good about themselves, I would think.
Hake is another Lululemon enthusiast. Also Urban Outfitters. That would be another place she would spend all her money if she could. And she also danced for 9 years. Split at the line, and that should bring the first half to an end.
Ooh.
And it did. We almost lost the clock
almost
there.
Almost busted the shot clock up there on top
I was
of the
going to say, they might want to advise, because we've got a shot clock in a couple of years. I'm not sure Chanhassen wants to fork the bill for a new one. But what an entertaining first half. Chaska leads 31-27 in what truly was a seesaw affair.
It was a tough one to script from the get-go. We saw it. Chaska burst out to a 13-2 lead. Everything seemed to be going their way. And slowly but surely, Chanhassen battled their way back into this in the most unlikely fashion, with the sophomore Arnold leading the way.
I can't wait to see what happens in the second half, as we have two teams battling for pride, conference positioning, and section positioning. We'll be back in a moment. This is high school girls basketball.
Twin Cities Sports Broadcasting and a whole lot more. That's what you get from TSP Television. We provide long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros. Dazzling moves.
Holloman, good if it goes. Yes!
Game winners.
From James. She's in trouble. Finds James. Toss shot! It goes in!
And everything in between.
Before we let you go, do you want to say hi to anybody?
Oh, I don't know. That put me on the spot there.
If you want to connect with our audience, visit us at patreon.com/TSB Television or sponsor our coverage through PayPal and Cash App. Thank you for watching.
Mike Peden and Alex Nagel back with you at Chanhassen High School in this Metro West rivalry game. The Chaska Hawks and the Chanhassen Storm. Chaska leads 31-27 in a first half of runs. Chaska started on a 13-2 run. Chanhassen responded with a 22-6 run. Chaska surged to end the first half. They hold a 4-point lead. Kennedy Sanders, a big reason for that. 11 points to lead all players. Mallory Heyer with 6. Kendall Carmen with 5 for the Hawks. For Chanhassen, Maddie Hicks with 8 points. Callin Hake with just 6. Only 2 field goals. But I think it's more important on the part of Chanhassen. They're only down by 4. Callin Hake had a rough first half. Hicks shouldered the load, so if Hake can find her rhythm, if she can find the basket in the second half, that could help Chanhassen in a big way.
Well, I think both Kayla Walsh and Tara Seifert would ideally like to see things on a somewhat more even keel than what we saw in that first half. But I tell you what, for a rivalry game, Mike, this one has certainly lived up to its billing.
I'm not sure what the biggest Northwest suburban rivalry is. I know Park Center and Osseo had one for a long time, but
Osseo and Maple Grove was always
Osseo and Maple Grove's another one. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But this is a good one. Free throws coming for Lauren Arnold. Arnold averaging 10.1. Season high 14. And let's see how free throws come into play, too, in the second half. Chaska was 5 of 9, Chanhassen 5 of 8. Go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and we saw Chaska struggle some from that charity stripe in that first half.
Long way to go, though. Schulke fires the 3, and that's short.
The one thing that does encourage me about Chanhassen is that they have limited those second and third opportunities on the defensive end. So if they can continue doing that, they've got a very good chance in this one.
Mallory Heyer has other ideas. She gets the steal for Chaska. Kennedy Sanders left alone, fires the 3. Arnold will pick it up and take a stroll across the court. Here's Giles. Back out to Arnold. Arnold kicks out to Hake. Hake trying to work off the screen. She reverses direction, sweeps her. Back to Hake. Deep 3. Bullseye.
And just like that, the Storm retakes the lead.
The second three-pointer for Callin Hake. 20 points or more in 4 of the last 5 games. High-low play, and Mallory Heyer will shoot 2. Tara Seifert calls Mallory a top player who has made a huge impact for the success of our Chaska program. I talked to her a little bit coming off that state championship, the first in school history for Chaska. They'd reached the big dance a couple of times before, but she said it was really fun to see a group of homegrown kids rally together, knock off Hopkins in the semis, edge Rosemount in the final.
Yeah. That was really fun to watch, even on TV.
Well, that's how all of us had to watch, because they didn't allow media back then. But with everything that Chaska and every other school went through, I had a feeling it was going to be a sweet moment no matter who won the title. Chaska just happened to hoist the trophy. Kennedy Sanders fires the 3 and is short. And another offensive rebound for the Hawks. We're tied at 32. This is Carmen. The kick out to Heyer for 3. Short again. Hake once more. In and out. But racing in for the O-board was Maddie Hicks, who had a strong first half. Hake again. Short on the 3. Kennedy Sanders, she's got numbers. She'll hook up with Schulke, but she can't connect on the baseline J. Dead ball rebound to
They made the call
Chaska.
yet? Okay, it is. Okay.
Yes, I didn't see
I didn't either.
I didn't see a signal or an arrow, if you will.
Both teams right now struggling a little bit from the perimeter.
Kennedy Sanders will be hit with the offensive foul. Arnold was set, and from up here, Alex, you could see Sanders just move her out of the way.
Yep.
You can't do that if you're bringing the ball up. Well, I should say you can't create space that way. So that's the second foul on Sanders.
Well, I tell you what, that pressure defense that Chaska brings can really be problematic.
Before last year's state tournament championship, Alex, Chaska hadn't reached the big dance since 2010.
Yeah, it had been a long while.
And you may remember the 2008 team with Courtney Boylan, who
Yep.
go on to win Miss Basketball. Bob Downs and Tara Seaford were co-head coaches, if I remember that year. And then Chaska went down to 3A for a couple of years because of the split with Chanhassen. But it didn't take them long to go back to 4A. Chaska brings the pressure again. It results in a swat, but Chanhassen with the answer.
What a play by Arnold.
Free ball for the Hawks. Mallory Heyer. Can't make Chanhassen pay for it.
I tell you, Lauren Arnold has been all over the court on this Friday night.
Chanhassen, they've had some solid wins. They got a big one over Waconia to start Metro West play. And then, again, came within a point of beating Wyzetta. If they can find a way to get a win against Chaska, that would make a huge statement. Not just for the conference, but for the section and the state. Chaska number 3 in the most recent 4A poll. Kennedy Sanders attacks the lane again and will shoot 2. If you're wondering what Seaford has to say about Sanders, a dynamic player with a high basketball IQ. She's leaned upon as a defensive stopper. Well, dynamic.
That fits her.
Sums it up.
Quite aptly, if I may say so.
Dynamic, but also modest.
Yes.
She will never make it about herself. And last year, my colleague Eric Bugard from Junior All-Star brought the Chaska team on for a Zoom chat. And Kennedy was deflecting to her teammates throughout the entire interview. Even though she played a big part in Chaska's state tournament win, Kennedy never wants to make it about herself. And I can respect that. Another split at the line. Hake fires the 3, drills it.
I tell you what, she's starting to heat up.
Well, that is Hake's 3rd triple. She's up to 12 points, heating up. Well, I'll tell you this much, Hake is certainly hotter than the temperature. Mallory Heyer hoping to bring some heat. Can't get the bounce.
I'm glad now that you decided to drag me out for this one.
Well,
out
you're
of my
the one who
comfort
said
zone.
yes. don't make it look like I dragged you out. I just reached out and said, would you like to cover the game? Because I know how much you enjoy going out of your comfort zone in that Northwest Suburban. But no, you are not obligated. I just like to ask because I know you enjoy watching this sport, and with everything that's happened, we've had to make a lot of audibles here. This wasn't my original game, but because of the rescheduling, it's like, what's the next best thing?
Well, you picked a good one.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm not always... some of the games I've done this year were runaways of the surprising sort, but this one, Chanhassen is giving Chaska everything they've got. Carmen on the drive, had nowhere to go. Hake maintains the dribble and draws the foul. That is the third on Sanders.
Wow.
And Hake will go to the line for two.
The charging call, and now this one. Could be a decision time for Tara Seifert.
Hake to the line. Outside of basketball, she's involved in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Key Club, National Honor Society, and DECA. And will set a career school scoring record that will likely stand for a while. Again, she broke it as a sophomore, joined varsity as an 8th grader. That makes it a 4-point game. Here's Kennedy Sanders. The skip to Heyer, and Mallory will shoot two. And going back to our conversation, Alex, I guess I learned a thing or two about going outside my comfort zone from Tony Gear, of all people.
we both learned a few things from Mr. Gear back in the day.
All the things he put us through.
Oh, goodness. Tell me about it.
What?
Tell me about it.
I was going to say, didn't he make you do some really awkward interview at the state tournament once?
He made me do a lot of things.
If only he were here to for some of these.
Yeah.
Mallory Heyer splits at the line. She's up to 8. Chanhassen leads by 3. Callin Hake finding her groove. Can't score there.
Wow.
But following through is Lauren Soibert. Lauren Soibert, she's done some cleanup duty tonight. And Chanhassen leads by 5. Alex.
This is a critical juncture now for Chaska.
Sanders to Heyer.
I'll tell you what, that's a badly needed answer for the Chaska Hawks.
Sanders to Heyer. I can't think, maybe peanut butter and chocolate would be a better combination, but that's about it. But you're right, Alex. That was a bucket Chaska needed, even though we have a long way to go. Callin Hake. That would have been a big 3 had it gone in. Sanders with the rebound. The skip to Schulke. The runner is good.
Close back to a 1-point game again.
39-38. Callin Hake on the take. Chaska can take the lead. Sanders, look out. Goodbye.
I tell you what, Kennedy Sanders can make things happen in a hurry. And just like that, the Chaska Hawks have roared back into the lead.
Sanders has been doing that since she suited up in 8th grade with this Chaska team. Kayla Walsh will call a timeout.
Well, I think a much-needed timeout to get this Chanhassen team settled down. I think maybe the amps are a little too high on both sides. Chance now to kind of catch your breath a little bit, get refocused.
This seesaw back and forth game continues. .40-39 is the score. Kennedy Sanders up to 14 points with that last bucket. Remember, she had a 32-point game, and will keep her streak. That's quite the mark of consistency, Alex. 14 points or more in every game this season.
Yeah, it really is. You know, the one thing, if I'm Kayla Walsh, the one thing I might be a little concerned with right now, Mike, is that I don't want to see Callin Hake maybe get a little too greedy from behind the arc. I mean, again, I talked about letting the game come to her. Don't try to force the issue.
She has been getting a few more buckets from three-point range, though. And the way this game is going, based on the trend, I have a sense Chanhassen has another run or two within them. Callin Hake leans in for the layup.
Back and forth we go.
Well, she was greedy, but not from three-point range. She just wanted that layup. And Hake is up to 16. Here comes Heyer with the answer. No good. Niebuhr with the rebound, and she draws the foul. Alex, highlights Sanders, 14 points or more. She's only averaging 20.1, so it's not like she's going off for 40 or 50, not that she has to with the talent she's got, but Kennedy remarkably consistent. Her Twitter handle, I think, is fitting, 2K Sanders, because oftentimes she's playing like she's on the cover of a 2K game. And on cue, she draws the foul on a take, and she'll shoot two. In this first game of 2022 that we're covering, that is, it's Chaska's second game of the calendar year. It's rare that you find such a combination of talent and humility on the part of Sanders.
Yeah, and again, just a junior. Phenomenal.
And that's not to suggest I run into players who are egotistical maniacs, far from it, but...
Perhaps a better phrase to use is wise beyond her years.
I think you could say that about a lot of these athletes. Well, they certainly were wiser than I was at their age.
I probably could have learned a thing or two from those young women out there when I was coming up on the tennis circuit.
Here comes Arnold, draws the foul on Aubrey Heyer.
I tell you, Arnold continues to impress here, the sophomore. Not showing any fear at all. In a tight game, so much on the line.
Lauren Arnold. I've got her at 6 points unofficially. Front end rims out. And I'm looking at the foul tally here. Callin Hake has 3 fouls, and Kennedy Sanders has 3 fouls. So something to keep an eye on. As Arnold knocks down the back end. Sanders, deep three. Rebound goes to Linder. Here's a chance for the Storm. And Chanhassen, remember, they're coming off a double overtime loss against Benilde St. Margaret's, a team with Olivia Olson. They'd like to end the week on a more positive note. They've done a tremendous job hanging with one of the best. Chanhassen turns it over. 9:32 remains in regulation. And I know we still have a ways to go, Alex, but what are the odds that Okay.
Oh, they reversed the call. You don't see that. Reversed. Don't see that happen very often. Tara Seifert wants an explanation.
Yeah, Bonnie, she picked up on it. One of the other refs spotted it, and that's why there's a team of 3. It's not just the team of 5.
Right.
Hake thought about it. Instead, kicks out.
Good shot. That was a good shot attempt, though.
Not a bad play on the part of Chanhassen. Just didn't go in. Here's Schulke. 17-footer is long. Lily Niebuhr gets on the board. Niebuhr, she only averages 2 points a game. Picked up a big pair there. 3 ball.
Boy.
Ooh, that's the second time. That was Kate Drury as her 3 rattles out. Second time, though, they've had a 3 go in and out. 8:45 to go. Schulke, the runner, gets the bounce.
You know, in a game like this, you know, you don't look at a 4-point differential as being huge. But in a close game like this one has been, it's big.
It's big. At the same time, it could get reeled in a hurry. But Chaska finding some rhythm here defensively. Lucy Dardis, one of the volleyball-basketball crossovers, got the steal there. Sanders, the kick out to Dardis. Yes!
I tell you what, great pass by Sanders. She slipped there as soon as she let go of the ball, but she got the pass off. And just like that, it's a 6-point lead now for the Chaska Hawks with just under 8 minutes left.
Timeout, Chanhassen. They have 2 remaining. And that's enough to get the band going. Lucy Dardis doesn't score a lot for this team, but she loves the relationships that she has built with her teammates and coaches in basketball. Dardis, another senior. She and Mallory Heyer had an impressive volleyball season as they made it all the way to the section final where they had to go up against Eden Prairie. And that win over EP, Alex, I know it caught your attention with all the accolades and the hype Eden Prairie got. But remember, Minnetonka, any one of those 3 teams in that top group, I wouldn't be surprised if they got out of it. Chaska and Minnetonka will meet January 29th if the schedule holds. We'll have to see. And these 2 teams will meet again February 8th. And Chaska has another tough test next Saturday when they play Roseville.
And Chaska bringing the pressure defense again.
$7:59 to go. And Alex, we're seeing Chaska's defensive intensity dial up here.
Yeah, we didn't have the best angle on it there at the end, but...
No, we've got the bench in front of us. Not our usual vantage point, but Chaska, they had the best vantage point, and it was the perspective that got them. Another turnover. Mallory Heyer with the turnaround. This is crunch time for Chanhassen. Can the Storm deliver? Heyer sends that one away. Deep 3 for Callin Hake. Scramble for the ball. Chanhassen's got it. Mallory Heyer catches up to Linder.
Goodness.
Linder was calling for it. Heyer stayed with her. Another 3. Schulke. Don't want to lose control of it now. Sanders. Long 2. Swish.
Oh, I tell you what, she's got such a nice release.
18 points for Kennedy Sanders. But this game far from over.
I'll tell you, some tough defense being put on by these Chaska Hawks here when it counts the most.
This is how they worked their way back against Eden Prairie last week. Linder drew the foul, and that's on Sanders.
That would be her 4th then.
And it is.
Well, 6:28.
You don't want to lose your do-everything point guard.
And Tara Seifert's making a decision right now.
Well, Lenzen will check in, but let's see who she subs in for. Because you're getting to that point of the game where you don't want to have her out. You also don't want to lose her. Arnold.
And
Chaska's interior defense is really clamping down these last few minutes. But Callin Hake pickpockets the ball and has an open lane,
Can't
misses
connect.
the layup.
Well, right now, nothing going right for the Chanhassen Storm.
That is a score you have to have. Chaska could drop a dagger. Sanders almost lost the dribble. Dardis to Heyer, and she's hacked by Linder. Last foul to give for Chanhassen, 5:36 to go.
That was going to go on Linda
Chaska.
Avery.
Well, Sanders will go out momentarily. Lenzen will go in. Chaska scoring 8 in a row to break a 42-42 tie. But Kennedy Sanders going to the bench for now as she seeks to avoid the 5th foul that would put her to the bench permanently, at least in this game. Lenzen to Heyer, up and in.
I tell you what, she almost did that behind her back, it almost seemed like. And just like that, it's a 10-point advantage. Work to do now for Chanhassen.
Arnold sees a lane and flips it in.
And Arnold finally breaks the scoring drought for Chanhassen, but time now becoming a little bit of an enemy now for the Storm.
Mallory Heyer.
And especially
once
with
more.
Mallory Heyer doing things like that.
Well, let's not forget Mallory Heyer, a capable player. Callin Hake can't hang on to it. I know you and I were talking before the game where I thought Chaska's depth might give them an edge. They lost a little bit of that with Kaylee Van Epps among the graduates from last year's team, as Tara Seifert will call a timeout. Yeah, this team, remember, it wasn't just Van Epps. Kelsey Willems, who's at Augustana. There were a lot of pieces that made last year's Chaska team a potent one, as they went undefeated, 18-0. An often forgotten aspect of that state tournament run, they had to pause their season due to a COVID exposure. And under the guidelines at the time, had that happened one day later, they wouldn't have been able to participate in the section playoffs. So how much one day can make a difference? Alex with about 4.5 to go here. Chaska up by 10. It looks like they're poised as winning out. What does Chanhassen have to do to make one last run?
Well, you could probably say that, Callin Hake is going to have to start really popping them from three-point land. But I think really they got to do the job on defense. You got to, do what Chaska was doing to you. You got to limit those opportunities that Mallory Heyer is having down low. And now with Kennedy Sanders still on the bench, you got to take advantage of that too.
The problem is Chaska has the ball, so they can work the clock now.
There's a turnover.
But that won't help.
Well, now an opportunity for Chanhassen presents itself. So let's see what they can do with this.
They cough it up.
I tell you, that defense, that pressure from Chaska is really a troublemaker for Chanhassen.
And again, that's what they did in the second half against Eden Prairie after they went down early. Chanhassen was up by 5 on a couple of occasions. And Chanhassen just finding no answer to this pressure defense that Chaska's putting up. And their one loss came to Hopkins. Tara Seifert was saying if we didn't have that lousy first half, we might have been able to give them a run.
Yeah.
They were able to work their way back a little bit in the second half. But that was a matchup in December. If those two meet again, who knows? You could say the same about Minnetonka and Eden Prairie.
Yep.
I know when you mentioned the EP Chaska result to me, you're wondering, is that the end of the hayride for Eden Prairie? And I'm thinking, well, remember, they're in a tough section. The first matchup determines seeding. The second one, or in this case the third, if these two are to meet, that's the money game. Speaking of money, Mallory Heyer is money. She's certainly cashing in with Kennedy Sanders on the bench.
She stepped up in a big way here during this run that Chaska's been on.
They're up by 12, and Mallory Heyer, no stranger to clutch performances. Free throws coming for Callin Hake. And I feel like with Chanhassen, I'm saying the same thing as I did last week when I covered the game with St. Michael Albertville. Had a few more threes gone in.
Yeah.
We might be talking a different scenario.
It seems odd, right around the 11-10 minute mark, we were tied at 42. And Chanhassen's only had one field goal since then.
And Callin Hake must have suffered a laceration. So she will get checked out by the trainer. You don't see this often.
No, I didn't see what happened.
Well, she's getting taped up.
Yeah.
Or cleaned up there.
Looks like on her knee or...
Looks like her thigh.
Her thigh, perhaps.
That is a safety precaution, of course.
Yep.
If you're wondering why we have to stop the game. And safety precautions, well, you probably have heard that phrase more than once in the last couple of years.
Yep. Well, it looks like things are somewhat back to normal now, so.
As Arnold Schwarzenegger said, it's just a scratch. I forget which film. Callin Hake knocks down both free throws, but it's Chaska who's looking to get to the chopper of victory. 2:55 to go. Kennedy Sanders back on the floor. Sanders. The shovel pass to Heyer. Like I said, Alex, I think the only better combination than Heyer and Sanders is peanut butter and chocolate.
I tell you what, they work just so awesome together as a duo. There's no question about it.
Chanhassen throws it away.
And things starting to unravel now for Chanhassen.
Well, to go back to what we were saying about Mallory Heyer and her ability to come up clutch in these situations, she's no stranger. If you go all the way back to her freshman year.
Yeah.
Against Farmington. That's a foul on Arnold, so Sanders will go to the line. Farmington was undefeated. This is the Minnesota Fury MLK Classic. Heyer as a freshman, tie game, time winding down. I thought Chaska would hold on to it. Instead, Mallory Heyer saw an open lane, went in, and scored what was the game-winning bucket to give Chaska a signature win in the development of Heyer and Sanders. Sanders splits at the line, but that may be academic now. Jump ball. Chanhassen with the arrow. Alex, the one thing I think Chaska would like to improve on, they win 11 of 19 from the free throw line, but what they did defensively in the second half to shut down Chanhassen, that's what they've been doing. And Callin Hake just couldn't find her stroke from three-point range.
It just hasn't happened for her in the second half.
At least not consistently. She got a couple.
No.
But again, it goes back to what I saw last week with St. Michael Albertville. If they can knock down their threes, they can pose a threat. But when they can't, when they don't go in, we saw this from Stillwater a few years ago.
Yeah.
How do they respond? And that's something I think Chanhassen is still learning. they can take some solace in the fact that they gave Chaska a run, certainly the closest they've been in a long time as far as this rivalry is concerned. But how do you compensate when your primary option isn't working out? That's something I think Chanhassen will look to improve on.
Yep.
As Chaska will continue their winning streak. This will be their 8th win in a row. Chanhassen will drop their 4th in a row. But this Chanhassen team, I think they have enough pieces where they could play an upset card in Section 2.
Yeah. It's, a lot can happen. It's, as one coach told me one time, it's not so much the seeding. When you get in there, you got to win.
And Callin Hake, she certainly has more big performances awaiting her. And she'll continue her development as an athlete at Nebraska. Speaking of Nebraska, I believe they got a win over Maryland recently.
They beat Michigan the other night.
So Nebraska making some noise. But tonight it's Chaska who came up big in the second half. It was 42-42.
Yeah. And
Since then, an 18-4 run for the Hawks. In this game of runs, Chaska got the most important one. Kendall Carmen to the line. Stat padding time here. I wonder if she'll have a post-game Caesar salad. I'm having way too much fun with these breakdown biographical notes, folks.
I think she deserves a lot more than a Caesar salad, but hey, that's just me.
Chicken Caesar salad. We'll throw a little protein in there.
That's what I like.
We'll throw some protein. Chaska's defense dictates the second half. And the Hawks, they don't need to run up the score anymore. They've done enough. Lenzen could have gone in if she wanted, but hey, without a shot clock, just run out the clock.
Well, another frustrating ending for this Chanhassen team that's continues to have some problems. They got a big game this next week, Tuesday, at Bloomington Jefferson, a chance for them to get back on the winning track.
Lenzen at the line, wanted to get this in, a 3-sport athlete, volleyball, basketball, and lacrosse. She also likes to draw, which she considers a stress reliever. Makes me wonder what some of her drawings look like. Chaska, they've had a lot of splits at the line. The 15 of 25 figure, I'm sure they'll want to improve on. Maddie Hicks knocks down the 3, but Chanhassen will run out of time. Chaska writes another chapter in this rivalry. 63-49 the final. The two-woman show of Heyer and Sanders pair up splendidly once more.
I tell you what, Chaska really brought the defense, both in the half court and with the pressure, and it really paid off for them.
It certainly did, and Chaska wins its 8th straight. They go to 9-1. We'll try to get a word with Kennedy and Mallory before we call it a night. This is high school girls basketball. The Hawks beat the Storm 63-49. Joining me are Kennedy Sanders and Mallory Heyer, the 1-2 combination for Chaska. And as we were talking during the broadcast, there aren't many combinations that are smoother than the two of you. Maybe peanut butter jelly, peanut butter and chocolate, but it's a pretty short list. The two of you paired up again splendidly in this game, and that was crucial toward the end. Kennedy, what would you make of your junior season, and how do you find that extra gear to hold off a resilient Chanhassen team?
Honestly, I think we had a lot of different girls step up this game. We kind of were struggling at the beginning, and we just kind of got back together in the second half and made sure we didn't let them get second chances and just stop their offensive game.
What would you make of this game overall, this rivalry? This chapter was a little closer than maybe past meetings, but like you said, you found ways to get your teammates involved and keep that win streak alive.
We definitely had to bring a lot of energy. Our bench was really into the game the whole entire time, and the gym was loud, so we just needed to stay calm.
One aspect of your junior season is your consistency, 14 points or more in every game. I know you're not worried about points or stats and things like that, but the fact that you're able to contribute on such a consistent level on offense, how do you think that symbolizes your development since you first put on that Chaska uniform?
I think I've definitely just got more comfortable in my leadership role and just coming off of passes from my teammates and just making sure I'm looking for other people to get open. It helps me get open too.
Well, Mallory, you stepped up when Kennedy had to go to the bench to navigate foul trouble. You're no stranger to clutch situations. We've seen you come up with big plays since you were a freshman. But when Kennedy goes to the bench, you know you're going to have to play a couple minutes without your point guard. How do you handle that situation?
I would say we just, like Kennedy said, other girls stepped up tonight and everyone played their roles as they should. And I just think it was a fight till the end. Obviously, we didn't play very well. We struggled offensively all night shooting from the outside. But we came out with the win, and that's all that matters.
Well, you had a big part in that with the buckets you got late. So we've seen your talent, again, for coming up clutch no matter the situation. So how would you say you've progressed as a player since we first saw you all those years ago as a freshman?
I would just say I've worked on my game all around, so being more of a threat from the outside, taking off the dribble shots and stuff like that. And my teammates, they found me at the end for open shots in the paint, so that was great. Yeah.
And, of course, this is coming off that state championship run from last year. Of course, that was last year, as the saying goes, but when you have that, when you know that you're able to come together and create a moment like you did, how has that fed into your progression this year?
Yeah, last year definitely gave us a lot of confidence, and winning the state tournament was just a dream come true for all of us. And so this year we're just trying to repeat that.
And no state tournaments tonight, no trophies to be won, but how big is it as far as this team, like you said? Maybe you didn't play your best. I know the free throw shooting you'd like to improve on, I think, in future games, but you still find a way to get a win. And I often say the hallmark of a contender is the ability to win the ugly games. So when you scrape a win together like this, what does that tell you and this team?
I think we just need to get in the gym and keep working on the stuff that we need to work on. And obviously tonight has showed us a lot of our weaknesses, so we're just going to get back to work.
That sounds like something you would say, something a seasoned veteran would say. But you're right. It's a long way to go and in a potential 32-game season. Before you go, you want to say hi to anybody?
Oh, okay.
Family, friends.
Yeah, just grandparents watching.
Didn't see that one coming, did you?
No.
We like to throw some curveballs once in a while because that's why we do this. It's for the fans and yourself. And I say this all the time. You're more than your record and your stat sheet. So to the grandparents and family and anyone else watching, I'm sure future Gophers and future Buffaloes fans as well, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by. Congrats on the win. We'll see if you can keep this win streak going.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kennedy Sanders and Mallory Heyer. That wraps up our coverage from Chanhassen. For Alex Nagel and the rest of our crew, I'm Mike Peden. Thanks for watching.